Yesterday I just started fluctuating load. Now you are already aware of what is fluctuating load. And this fluctuating load uh, is very dangerous for any machine element because it introduces fatigue, and this fatigue is very dangerous because the uh, crack generates after generation of crack. It expands very swiftly and failure occurs without any previous notice actually. So that is why we have to be very careful against while designing against fluctuating load, and stress concentration factor is very important. And stress concentration factor, uh, there are other factors like surface finish factor, size factor, reliability, uh, and other different factors. From table K, it is the values of from this table values of K. Please mute yourself. Please mute. Someone is unmuted still. So PB is Pi plus del P, and del P is this slide is already shown yesterday. Del P is P multiplied by Kb divided by Kb plus Kc, and ultimately PB is equal to Pi plus Cp, while C is this, and generally for fluctuating type of load, PB max is Pi plus Cp and PB min is Pi. Now we have to design the bolt against that. So sigma max equal to this, sigma mean equal to this. So from this we can find out the mean stress and alternating stress, and mean stress is sigma Pi by A plus sigma A. Now there is a introduction of straight line like this, and this straight line, the equation of the straight line is sigma m equal to Pi by A plus sigma A, and this straight line is very important. This is called load line. Now this Goodman line and load line, the point of intersection, the coordinates of the point of intersection C, these things are known, and since it is a straight line of equation x by a plus y by b equal to 1, so from this we get these two equations since the point C is common to both the straight lines F and AC, and from this we can find out, solving these two equations, we can find out sigma m and sigma a, and we have to introduce the factor of safety, and while introducing factor of safety, the point C comes to point B along the load line when we consider the factor of safety. So FOS is equal to AC by AB, and FOS is normally taken as 2, and from this equation, from these two equations, again we can write that AC equal to SUT minus PI by A divided by 1 plus SUT by AC. This is simply manipulation, and from this equation we can find out the bolt size. So this is the thing which we have to consider while considering the fluctuating load, and this equation will be helpful. Now there is a particular example. That means the fluctuating load is very dangerous. I have told you. So if we can design a, suppose there is a machine element, and the machine element is subjected to fluctuating type of load, that is fatigue load. But even the fluctuating load, if we can make an arrangement that in the presence of fluctuating load we can design it against static load, then it will be very helpful. That means fluctuating load is there, still we are making an arrangement so that we can design it against static load. And that simple example is given, that you will find it in books, that is connecting rod bolts. The connecting rod is very important, and connecting rod is subjected to a fluctuating type of load. It moves in this manner. So bolts are subjected to fluctuating type of load. So this special case is considered here, how we can avoid fatigue load, even there is fatigue load, and we can design it against static load. Now a special case, it is a special case. So PB is this, that is Pi plus P equal to this thing, and ultimately this Kc by Kb is replaced by a factor A. Now the equation is Pi plus P multiplied by this thing. Now if the external load varies from 0 to P, so P max will be P and P min will be 0. If this is the case, it is a particular case, so we are taking it that it varies from 0 to P. So P min is 0. So from this PB max will be this thing, and PB min equal to Pi. So mean and alternating values of stresses are this. Okay, PB mean will be half of this thing, ultimately will be equal to this, and PBA will be equal to this thing. So half into P multiplied by 1 by A. Now the value A depends on dimensions of bolt and plates. That is Kb by Kc. Kb by Kc, you can remember the figure of bolt and preloaded bolt. So there was 3B and B. I have demonstrated it in the last class. So there is some external diameter and there is some internal diameter. So it depends on the dimensions of bolts and plates. So designer can get a specific value of A and say for this particular case the value is taken as 10. Then PB mean will be equal to this, putting the value 10 here, it will be ultimately Pi plus 1 by 22P, and PBM and PBA is equal to 1 by 22P. Now the connecting rod bolts are tightened with initial tension. It has to be tightened with initial tension, or far higher than external load. The connecting rod bolts are tightened with initial tension, and that tension is far higher than external load. Why? There are some reasons. The reasons are, you just look at, if Pi is much greater than 1 by 22P. If Pi is much greater than 1 by 22P, what will happen? It can be designed against static load after neglecting 1 by 22P. That is, if Pi is very much greater than 1 by 22P, then it can be designed against static load after neglecting 1 by 22P. And if Pi is not high enough, then 1 by 22 cannot be neglected and the design is done on the basis of endurance limit. So For avoiding this mechanism means this arrangement signifies that if you use high initial tightening force, if you apply that, then it can be designed against static load. This is the thing. This is the a simple arrangement, and it is desirable to design connected rod bolts on the basis of static load rather than endurance level. So this is the thing. This is the particular case for designing connecting rod. That means this case just demonstrates how a design can be done using on the basis of static load. In spite of that, there is a fluctuating dipole load. Now, if there is any question on this, if there is any question on this, anyone respond? Is it clear? The specific example and the fluctuating load, is it clear? Anyone respond? If you don't respond, then it's okay. Okay. So here we finish the bolt design. Okay, but there will be another chapter on threaded joint, that is the that we will discuss later. So I will now take you to some problems, some numerical problems. Can you see the screen? Numerical problem, can you see it? The screen is shown to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So it is an example of preloaded bolt, just hand written thing, and you have to read it. It is an example on preloaded bolt. The problem is like this: the nut of a preloaded bolted joint shown in figure is initially tightened by a force of 3 kN exerted on the bolts. The joint is then subjected to an external load, maximum value of which may be up to 5.5 kN. The material of the bolt has a sigma YT of 425 Newton per millimeter square. The Kc, the ratio of Kc and Kb is there, that is 2.2. Determine the size of bolts taking FO is equal to 2.5. So values are given. Now this is the arrangement. This is the arrangement. The preloaded bolt, this figure is already known to you. Now the given values are Pi equal to 3 Kn, P equal to 5.5 Kn, FO is equal to 2.5, Kc equal to 2.2 Kb. So sigma T allowable equal to sigma YT divided by FOS, that is 170 Newton per millimeter square. So there is an expression of delta P. So delta P is equal to P multiplied by Kb plus Kc. And the ratio of Kb Kc is given. So from this we can find out the delta P is equal to 1718.75 Newton. So Pb is equal to Pi plus del P. So ultimately this is the value, that is 4718.75 Newton. To determine the size of bolts, assume area against tension of bolt. That means A is to be found out. From the value of A, we have to ultimately find out the diameter of the bolt. So A is assumed here. So from this, sigma T allowable will be equal to Pb by A. That is putting the values. A is equal to 27.75 millimeter square. Now we have to consult the table. So in the table you will get the core diameter. From the core diameter, so let us adopt coarse thread. You have to go for either coarse thread or fine thread. Let us go for coarse thread. Then you consult the table. I have shown you the table. From the table there is an area, and corresponding to the area, the bolt is M7 by 1, coarse threaded, and let us adopt some higher value, that is M8 by 1.25 volts, 1.25 is the pitch. So the problem is solved. It's okay? I think it's okay, it's very simple. Now there is another example on fluctuating load. Now say for a 4-stroke engine, the voltage joint is subjected to an external load of 0.8 kilonewton. 0 to 8, sorry, 0 to 8 kilonewton. It is fluctuating type of load, so it starts from 0 up to 8. And Kc equal to 2.5 kV. If the bolt is initially tightened by PB max so that the joint is on the verge of separation, you have already known how the separation occurs. So PB max so that the joint is on the verge of separation. Determine the size of bolts. For bolt material, SUT equal to 625 Newton per millimeter square, SYT equal to 430 Newton per millimeter square. Assume KF equal to 2.5, reliability 95%, FOS 2.5, and PV max occurs at 50% overload condition. Now, P is equal to 0 to 8 kilonewton, FOS the values are written here. So stress corresponding to endurance limit for bolt. So S dash E, that is equal to 0.5 SUT. So this is the value. Now there is a value of AC corresponding to size factor, reliability factor, modifying factor. This KD is modifying factor and this is S dash T. So from this, putting the values of putting these values, and one value you have to find out, that is KD, that is 1 by K. And for 90%, 95% reliability, Kc is equal to 0.868. That is reliability. For 95% reliability, Kc is equal to 0.868. So this table will be given. Either this table will be given or the value will be given for exam purpose. And Kd is equal to 1 by K, that is 0.4. Ultimately, the value of AC is this. Then PB max equal to 1.5. That is 50% overload. I have already in the problem it is mentioned that 50% overload to be considered. So 1.5 multiplied by 8 kilonewton, that is this thing. Then EI equal to this thing. So ultimately we can find out the value of EI. So under fluctuating load, Pmax equal to Pi plus Cp, and the value of C we can find out in this manner. That is the ratio Kb divided by Kb plus Kc, and ultimately Pmax equal to 5714.17 Newton. Now P mean equal to Pi plus C into 0, that is it starts from 0, so 3428.57. Mean and alternating loads are Pm equal to this and Pa equal to this. Now draw the Goodman diagram, the load line. This is the value of AC, this is the value of SUT, so this is Goodman line. Then this is the load line, the point of intersection, and from the point of intersection we can find out, we can establish these two equations, Sm by SUT plus Sa by AC equal to 1, and Sm equal to Pi by A plus Sa, A equal to area against tension in bolt. This is to be found out, this A is to be found out. So Sa is equal to SUT minus etc. Ultimately we reach here. Now sigma A equal to Sa by Fos, so sigma A means Pa by A, and ultimately this is the equation. From this we can find out, ultimately solving this, we can find out the value of A, the A in millimeter square, and then you go to the table and consulting the table corresponding to this millimeter. Force thread is M8 by 1 and fine thread is M8.125. So this way we can find out the diameter of the bolt by consulting the table. Now another problem. Eccentrically loading on bolted joint. Eccentric loading on bolted joint. Now the problem is there is an I section girder and there is a bracket like this. There is a bracket. The mouse is not working because it is already hot. So mouse is not working now. So this is I section girder and there is a bracket. E is there. E is there. That is the load, eccentric load. Eccentricity is E. Then there are two dimensions L1, L2, etc. And the two views are there. Now the problem is like this. Equal to 4 kilonewton load acts at an eccentricity of 200 millimeter. Determine the size of bolts required. If the bolt is of Fy equal to this, Fy is equal to T, L1, L2 given, initial tightening tension for 40 MPa. So the solution is let area against tension of bolt is A, then Pi equal to 4000 by 4 Pi dash. That means the first shear forces, primary shear forces. Pi means I equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So it is 1000 Newton. Then C equal to putting the equation for finding out C, that is P equal to 2 into L1 square plus L2 square. Ultimately it is 1.23. So P1 double dash equal to CL1. That is the value of P1 double dash. P2 double dash CL2, that is 184.5 Newton. Now Fs is equal to 1000 by A and F equal to 184.5 by A. So sigma 1 is equal to 1096.4 divided by A, and sigma allowable value is 140 MPa. So 140 MPa equal to 1096.4 by A. Ultimately find out A. Then sigma tau available is this. So tau max, that is Ft by 2 whole square plus F square. Ultimately you find out A from here, that is 14.34 millimeter square. So ultimately the value is 14.34 millimeter square, not 7.83 millimeter square, because you have found out the tau max, the principal stress. So 14.34 millimeter square, and corresponding to this 14.34 millimeter square, you have to find, this is not shown here, you just consult the table and then you find out the diameter of the bolt. So this is the thing. Now eccentrically loaded bolt for circular gauge, another example, that is the pillar crane. A pillar crane in figure with circular base is to carry a load of 60 kilonewton. Permissible tensile stress 80 Newton per millimeter square. Design the bolts if 16 number of them is used. That means the 16 number of bolts are used. Yeah. So the eccentricity is 8 meter. You see the two dimensions 2A and 2B are there. 2A is 2.5 meter and 2B is 2.25 meter. So 2A is 2500 millimeter, 2B 2250 millimeter, P equal to 60 kilonewton, Z is 16, that is number of bolts, and Ft max equal to 80 Newton per millimeter square. So L is momentum about C. So momentum about C is 800 minus A. It is just see 800 minus A will be moment R. Here, this total is the 2A, then this is A. So from this, uh, so 6750 millimeter is the momentum. Then absolute maximum pressure. There was an equation for Pmax, and putting that equation, you will get 2PL divided by A plus B, 2PL multiplied by A by B divided by Z into 2A square plus B square. There is a Z. And there was 4, and while we were just analyzing, there was 4, and that 4 was generalized in terms of Z. So 2PL into A plus B divided by Z into 2A square plus B square. So value of Z is 16, and ultimately Pmax is 27384.34 Newton. Then we have to find out size of screw, and it is subjected to tensile load. So Ft is equal to P by pi by 4 dc square. So from this, dc is found out, that is 20.876 millimeter, and you consult the table, say it is 4 series, so corresponding to 20.876, it will be M24 by 3 volts. So adopted size of bolts is M24 by 3. This is the 4 series. So 4 problems are as shown. So if there is any question on the entire bolt design. Is it okay? Huh? Are you listening?
Yes,
Or
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
just after attending, you are roaming abroad. You are roaming in your room or house. Is there anyone in the class, or you have just entered and roaming
Yes,
here
sir.
and
Yes, sir.
there?
We are there. Yes, sir, we are there, sir. Yeah.
You are there. Okay. Okay. So this is all for bolted joint, and the next class, that is on Monday. I have talked with Professor Pravit Dey, and I will take it from 10 for coming Monday only. For coming Monday, it will be from 10 a.m. Okay. Clear? So,
Yes, sir.
so I am finishing it for today. Okay.
Sir, hello, sir.
Uh,
Sir, will PKD sir not take our classes this semester?
he will take class. Why not? I have talked with him. He will take class, but not on Monday.